Hello and welcome to Young Turks International in San Francisco. I'm Shireen Bhan. Over the next 30 minutes, you'll meet a man who started his own social networking website in 2003, a woman who's been part of the presidential campaign for both Al Gore and Hillary Clinton, and a young achiever who's running two jobs, one as an art curator and the other with HP. Welcome back. You're with Young Turks International. We're in San Francisco. Our next young achiever decided to put her master's in political science to practice. She was part of Al Gore's campaign, and she was also part of the team that ran Hillary Clinton's campaign and now Barack Obama's campaign. Let's find out more about Shefali Razdan and her political aspirations.
Hi, I'm Shefali Razdan. I am 37 years old and the executive director of Indus Women Leaders.
She's on a campaign trail that promises to renew the American dream. Meet Democratic campaigner Shefali Razdan. After working with the Hillary Clinton campaign with the Northern California Steering Committee, she's now endorsed Democrat presidential candidate Senator Obama's campaign for change. Never the one for status quo, this student of politics started her career as a volunteer for Al Gore's presidential campaign back in 2000. And today she's spearheading the Indo-American Outreach and Young Professionals Outreach Program.
What is it like to be on the inside as opposed to sort of watching and observing the process from the outside? What was the big difference?
Well, in terms of what one studies, it's very theoretical, and the practice of it is quite different. It was very hands-on, and you really saw the dynamics of the different levels of the campaign. So it was much more exciting than the theory behind it.
What was the big insight for you, really? Because, you know, when we saw Senator Clinton's campaign play out, you know, it came back down to the gender issue. It came back down to the fact that, you know, she was Bill Clinton's wife and all of that. You know, did gender really become, in a sense, the downside? Or did it sort of work as a negative card for her, you think?
She actually did not want to run as a woman candidate. She ran as a candidate who happened to be a woman.
Yeah, but it became all about gender, didn't it?
Ironically, with the United States being such a progressive country, it still hasn't had a female president. And so she ended up becoming a greater representation.
Were you hoping that she would accept the vice presidential nomination?
I think we all would have loved that had it been presented to her. I think she also, you know, has her own thoughts about what further she could do in the Senate.
So are you now working on Senator Obama's campaign as well?
I am. I shifted over. I'm in the same capacity. I do South Asian outreach and young professional outreach.
And taking her initiative in public life further, Shefali also heads the Indus Women Leaders Initiative, a foundation that supports and empowers South Asian women in the U.S. Drawing from the cultural similarities and diverse backgrounds, Shefali is creating a national community of South Asian women to address their desire to succeed. Established in 2001, this not-for-profit forum today has a pan-American presence with over 2,500 members spread over 5 chapters.
We have 80% of the women of that 2,500 are working women. They have master's degrees or higher. But one of my goals was also to enlarge the scope and have women with less experience, as well as women that are, for whatever reason, out of the workforce. I wanted to include them as well because I think it's a great networking dynamic for all women.
So what is the idea behind it, and what are you hoping to achieve by getting all of these women together? And are there any specific issues which relate to the South Asian community, women especially, that you're hoping to address through this?
Well, the focus we're really looking at would be networking and mentorship, because the home life balance with work for South Asians that are in the United States, as well as everywhere, but specifically we're focusing on the United States, you know, it's a delicate one. And so while we are trying to achieve our personal ambitions, there's also the concept of respecting our culture.
So where do you hope to take this from here?
We'd love to increase the growth of the chapters as well as go internationally. We'd love to, we have some members in India, some members in England, but we really want to infiltrate a little bit more. Just keep growing the organization, make it more helpful, more influential overall.
And Shefali has set the pace for this uphill task through her columns on Spice magazine online. Sweating it out to voice the opinion of the Indian American population, this proud Kashmiri believes that with the growing political participation of this community, today is not far in future when an Indian American would stand for the state. So is she gathering the strength for a political career ahead?
I am very seriously considering for the next election, which would be 2010. I'm very seriously considering it.
Okay, so 2010 is when we could possibly hear something more on that front.
I definitely have a very high interest in being in public service. I'm really passionate about giving back to the community that I live within, as well as the national community that I am so grateful to be part of. So I do, I am considering it strongly.
How strong is the India connection for you, and does it really come in the way? Because we've seen that happen with Bobby Jindal. There has been not very obvious, but not a very subtle sort of denial of the fact that, there is a South Asian connection there. Do you think that's going to play a part at all if you do run for office?
I do know what you're implying in terms of, other people that have run before, but I think that, I have such a passion for my community as well as the community at large, and they would be so thrilled to see someone of our ethnicity slowly come up and work hard, working for the community as well as the larger community.
All right, Shefali, we wish you the very best of luck. Thank you very much for joining us on Young Turks International. And 2010 is, we'll be watching that date and keep us posted on what happens then.
Okay, thank you. A delight to meet you.
Time for a break, but when we return, the story of a woman who's an art curator and works for HP as well.